Determination to change the nation, I'm manifesting the truth. Back in the booth to give you the messages that's been channeling right through me. No, I'm not Jesus, although my spirit is great. I'm eating my food without a plate, escaping this place through my meditations. New life begun when I reloaded the gun and realized where I was from was not too far from the sun. Like somewhere close by the moon. Now I'm connected like Zoom. On walks of life that ever lived call me like out of the blue. So I just pass it to you, right through your speakers with clues. And if you choose to free your mind, then you will have all the tools. But I can't make you take it and shake it and mentally break yourself out. Cause freeing your mind without a doubt is something you have to try out. But once you see the light, your might, and all the power you've had, then you have reached the fifth dimension and you can brighten your path. But others who choose to follow the red pills, it's harder to swallow. Or you can wallow in your sorrows, feeling all empty and hollow. The only way you'll see the truth if it's starting with you. So please stop lying to yourself, start being truthful to you. The only way you'll see the truth if it's starting with you. So please stop lying to yourself, start being truthful to you, to you.
Good evening, everybody. Thanks for joining the show today. We got some special guests in the house for y'all. Of course, I'm always joined by my mama over here in the corner. She's always smiling and laughing. But I'm going to bring up my co-host right away, Brother Jaden Perkins. What's going on, brother? Jaden Perkins. Oh, there we go. What's going on with you?
Hey, what's up? I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing good. Glad to have you on the show today. You know, I always love it when Jaden want to co-host. He can always come co-host with me at any time. There go Brother Myron. Myron said, okay, what's going on, Myron? So yeah, today we have Sister Brenda Council and Brother John Ewing on the show. And it's important for us to bring up Miss Brenda because we want to talk about when she ran for mayor and how close things were, okay? And it's better to hear it from her mouth than ours. We could tell the story, but nobody can tell it better than the person who experienced it. All right, here she come. There she go.
Howdy. Good evening, everyone.
Hey, we call her AT Brenda. That's everybody AT right there.
That's right. and I love y'all.
Yeah, we love you too. So yeah, we want to jump right in. So a lot of people may or may not know that you once ran for mayor. I want to go ahead and let you tell the story, the year, and what happened, and from your perspective.
Okay, and Sherman, it does need to have a little historical perspective.
Yes, ma'am.
I was elected to the city council in 1993, and at the time I was elected to the city council. Then Mayor P.J. Morgan was reelected to his second term. So when I started my first term on the city council, P.J. was starting his second term as mayor. 1 year into his term, he decided that he wanted to spend more time with his family and was relinquishing his seat as mayor. Under the then city charter, the charter provided that in the event of a vacancy in the mayor's office, the city council would decide who would complete the remainder of the term, and it would only require a simple majority vote. So that meant 4 people could decide who would be the mayor for the next 3 years. Well, I didn't think that was the way that that situation should be handled, and I impressed upon my colleagues on the city council the importance of floating a charter amendment that would change the charter to provide, at least if there was more than 2 years left on a term, it would have to go to a vote of the people. And my colleagues on the city council agreed. We voted to submit a charter amendment to the voters, and that occurred in June of 1994. And the voters overwhelmingly agreed that if there were more than 2 years left on a term, there had to be a special election held to fill that seat. So a special election was scheduled then in December of 1994. And I originally had no plans on filing for the seat, but some of the people who announced that they were going to run were people who hadn't even lived in the city for the last 10 years. While they may have retained a voter registration address, they were not actual residents, and I just didn't think that was right. So I ran in December of 1994 the first time, and was pretty soundly beaten. But before the 97 election, someone had a poll conducted, and one of the questions asked in the poll was, if the election was held today, who would you vote for mayor? And I had received more than 40% of those responses. So my campaign team thought that that was enough of an indication that another run at the mayor's seat would be a wise thing to do, and that's when we launched our campaign in 1997. My lead strategist was the late great Joseph Sonny Foster, who was a political genius. And Sonny really outlined what we had to do in each city council district, how many votes we would have to get out of each city council district. And when it came to city council district 2, we determined that we would need 15,000 votes, and there were more than 25,000 registered voters in city council district 2. We determined that we would need 15,000 votes out of city council district 2. Sadly, only 13,000 people voted, and I lost that election by 735 votes.
Yeah, and I just pulled that up so people can see in real time where it says Dobb narrowly won re-election over council, winning by just 735 votes.
Yes. And if you go back, and like I said, you go back and you look at the voter turnout, you know, that's what was troubling.
Yeah.
That if city council district 2 registered voters had voted in larger numbers, the likelihood is that we would have made up that 735 vote margin.
Right. And so now we looking at this, you know, the primary election happened and the turnout was low, right? And so
Yes.
we've been pumping to try to get everybody to vote, because if y'all look now, 735 votes is nothing, right? But it was enough for her not to be able to make history back then. This was 1997. And we just have to do better. And so when we look at the mayoral election, and you know, we did have a recent town hall that was canceled by the mayor, and a lot of people were saying it because she didn't respect our vote, right? Because we've been historically known not to vote, and so she felt like it was okay to cancel 20 minutes after the event started and say that she just wasn't coming. All right. The person who's running against her right now, Brother Ewing, not only has he been showing up to everything that we've invited him to, he came to some stuff that he just heard about and showed up anyway. And I had a nephew actually who pulled a person from a burning car. And just to give y'all an example, we were held up. This happened last year, 2024 of August, and the mayor's office was holding up the award because they kept saying the mayor was busy. So we like, okay, we'll wait till she's not busy. And guess what? She signed the award. We finally had it like last month, and then she just still didn't even show up. So I didn't understand what was the point of not having it and holding us off to give him this award from pulling somebody from a burning car that would have died if he not stepped in. Everybody else was just standing there recording, and her signature was on it, but she didn't come. And all the firefighters, Kathy Bossman was there, and John and his wife showed up. You know, I mean, that meant a lot, not only to my family, but to my nephew to have him show up. And Senator McKinney showed up. Like, people that's elected and they pour into their community, that's what we need, right? And so that's why it's important and why I wanted to talk to Miss Brenda, because we have another opportunity to vote in a new mayor, and we can't fall short again like we did before with 735 votes. That's just terrible, y'all.
Yeah, and we and Sherman, and we can do it, right?
We
I
can do
mean,
it.
if people go and just we've got to get out of this mentality, this belief that our vote doesn't matter, that it doesn't count, that someone else is going to dictate, what happens to us in our communities. Well, you allow others to dictate that when you don't vote. Yeah,
Right.
and when you vote, your voice is heard. You can't be ignored. You know, uh, uh, it's curious. People say that uh, our vote doesn't count, and we get it when we really get ignored is when we don't vote.
Absolutely.
It's when we don't vote that we really get ignored. I ask people, or when we're viewed as not voting. Okay, how many times has either of your U.S. senators been in North Omaha?
Mm.
Jaden,
During election time.
you don't even see them during election time. Did you
Yeah.
see
Commercial.
did you see Deb Fisher?
Never. Not
That-
once.
And and during this past election,
Yeah.
did you see Deb Fisher?
No.
No, because she doesn't view our vote as being important to her.
Right. Yeah, and Myron just put your what you just said in the caption. When we really get ignored is when we don't vote, which is
Yeah,
true.
that's when we really get ignored.
Yeah. And so we don't need to get ignored anymore. Michaela said good things to think about with the primaries coming up. Yeah. We don't want to get ignored anymore. We want to make sure our voices are heard. And this is going to be a good time not only to get John in, but get him in with a impact. So this brother can step in, work for all of Omaha, and we can finally start having some real leadership. So without any further ado, before I take this down, I just want to hammer this into y'all head. 735 votes is all she lost by. Okay. That's why we need everybody to get together for sure, 100%, and come and vote. If you need help knowing where your polling place is, matter of fact, I posted it once. I'll add it to this video so y'all know where to vote at. Hi, Miss Riley from LinkedIn. Okay.
And if
And
you have your mail ballot and you haven't returned it, go take it to the library drop boxes.
yep,
Don't try to mail it now; it's too late.
it's too
So
late.
just go to the Washington Branch Library or the Swanson Branch Library and drop those ballots in those secure Douglas County Election Commission boxes. If you requested and received a mail ballot, do that.
Right. And Clarice is reminding us that the bus is free tomorrow. Preston is giving rides tomorrow. We have a lot of people getting people to the polls. So if you don't know where your polling place is, we will definitely help you get there. If you need to know, just check the page, reach out, and I'll coordinate it and send you to the people who's doing the rides. Miss Precious just stopped. Precious is on here. Said don't mail those ballots. Drop them off at the drop box. That's right. Not acting on your civil responsibility. You're just existing. That's absolutely right. So I'm going to go ahead and bring up the man of the hour, the man of the day, the man of the year. Okay, Brother John Ewing. There he is.
Hey, good evening, everyone. Thank you for having me.
Yes,
And
sir.
I truly appreciate the opportunity and the support. It means the world to me. What I would like to do, I did this Friday, and I think it's critically important that people understand this. Because of Brenda Council, I believed that I could win a countywide election back in 2006
Mm,
and actually became the first African American to win a countywide election. Without Brenda Council, that doesn't happen. Me running for Congress in 2012 doesn't happen without Brenda Council. Me running for mayor in 2025 doesn't happen without Brenda Council. So I want every person who is listening to understand the importance of Brenda Council in my life, but also in the life of a lot of other people that ran for office after seeing her success. See, I don't consider it failure when you gave it your all. I didn't lose the congressional race in 2012. I came in within 1.4% and gave it everything I had. And I know Brenda did that in the mayor's race. So you don't ever lose when you do that. And then when you inspire other people, then you truly won. So what I want to do is I want to thank her, but I also want to inspire our young people to stay engaged. Clarice Dombeck is on here, and one of the things I was very intentional about was supporting her and Yanira and Daniel Padilla so that we would have young people of color on that regional metro transit authority so that we could have people who understand the importance of public transportation in our communities. We've got to always be thinking about our community and thinking about the future and investing in these young people's lives. I was very happy yesterday when I finally had to go out and do canvassing for a story for Channel 7 when Jaden was in the car and I got to spend an hour and a half with him and some other young people talking to them about the importance of all of this. That is where the rubber meets the road when we're investing in other people and making them believe that their dreams are possible. So sorry if I took you off script, but I just had to say that.
No, you good. We don't have no script on this show. We will
Okay.
go with the flow.
Okay.
I do
I
want to
just had
get
to say it.
input from Jaden about his experience of working, with your campaign, him staying engaged, and then, like you said, we do have some young people on here. Clarice, Miss Michaela. These is all young people who are engaged in the local politics, and I love to see it. I try to do my best to support them. So, yeah, I want to give Jaden a chance to talk about his experience and the stuff that he been doing and how it's been working with you.
A very smart man, but the entire time we spent together was one lie.
Please, listen to me, okay? I know
I think he done froze up. Jaden? Yeah.
Did I freeze?
Oh, no, there you go. You unfroze right when you started talking. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, cool. Good evening, everyone. Jaden Perkins, community organizer, policy analyst, and political consultant. As someone who's also done a lot of campaigns and has lost a lot of times and has seen a lot of candidates lose, one thing that keeps me going is seeing people like John Ewing, seeing people like Jasmine Harris, seeing candidates get right back up the next day and continue the work that needs to be done in collaboration with the necessary folks, especially folks like Sherman, folks like Brenda Council, right? We work together in lobby school in the legislature and stuff. So what matters is folks being dedicated to the work after they lose the election, because all of the work goes beyond an election, beyond election day. It's everyday issues like mutual aid, making people's lives better economically and stuff like that. So whatever we can do to make that difference is key to sustainability for making change in Omaha. So as a young person, like, it hasn't always been easy. Obviously, I'm battling my own health issues right now, but it's been an amazing experience watching John run his campaign, bringing people together around getting new leadership at City Hall. Because as we've seen, the last 12 years is just disrespectful and lazy leadership at the hands of working everyday people. So I think now is the time more than ever to elect a new mayor and change how City Hall operates. And so I just want to express my appreciation for John. It was great knocking doors yesterday and just seeing you get out there and talk to the people. And I felt like, the people really connected with John at the doors, and everyone was really excited to see him come up right up. We even had a couple, we were doing the story and they were like, hey, we don't want the cameras, but we still want to talk to you. So that was really inspiring. And so I don't know.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. I was going to ask you about that. Like on the street, what is your take on how people's feeling about Ewing's campaign from your perspective?
For sure. So we've been all over the place the last 3 or 4 weeks that I've been knocking doors. And so we've been out west, we've been in Northwest Omaha, Southwest Omaha, Millard, North Omaha, and Midtown, all of that, all over the place. Folks are ready for new leadership at the doors, for sure. Virtually every door I've gone to said that they're voting for John and they're tired of the leadership down at City Hall right now.
Yeah. We all are. I think we right now, since the ball is in our court and we have the opportunity, that's why you see all hands on deck, right? And then when you don't know John, you have to sit down and actually talk to him and see why we all hands on deck right now, okay? It's not just about his personality, but he's from Omaha. He care about Omaha. This ain't no pay upgrade for him. This is just something that he's been wanting to do and being able to serve the community that he came from. I mean, who wouldn't want to do that? So it's actually inspired me to do more in politics, and hearing Brenda's story and all that. Like I always said I wasn't going to get into it, but now I see where, if we can take on the positions where we can actually make some real change, it'll inspire the next group of people. And if we're not inspiring and uplifting our younger people, then what are we doing it for? If we're not gaining the knowledge from the elders who done did it before, what are we doing it for? This is not a separation thing. That's why we have different age groups on this live right now. This is about grabbing the baton, passing the baton, working together, learning how to co-mingle and make things work for the betterment of all of us living in Omaha. And so, John, I really want to ask you, like, what is really the motivation behind why you're doing it, and how are you feeling about the people that you're meeting and seeing every day? Like, what is the input you're getting from everybody?
The reason I'm running for mayor is really quite simple. I talk about intentional economic development wherever I go, whoever's office I'm in, whether it's a developer, construction company, and I tell them that I have not seen true intentional economic development in North Omaha in my lifetime. Anytime there is something done in North Omaha, it's usually small, and then it's also usually federal grant money or state money or something like that. I've never seen the city actually put skin in the game and say, we are going to invest in North Omaha, and we're not just going to develop a plan, but we're going to develop a plan and work it. So one of the things I've been talking to everybody about everywhere I go, including some of the people that are responsible for the urban core plan, is that we need to take that plan and we need to expand that plan into North Omaha past Nicholas Street. And we need to take that urban core plan and spread it south past Leavenworth Street so that people in those communities can have access to an economy that works for everybody. That doesn't mean we have to stop anything we're already doing in terms of the pretty things that people like to build. Go ahead, we can build some of that, but let's build people's lives too. Let's teach people how to fish. Let's upskill our people and let's compete. One of the things I mentioned in the current occupant of the mayor's seat gets a little upset with me when I mention Des Moines. But Des Moines, Iowa, a city significantly smaller than Omaha, has created 29,000 more jobs than Omaha. If we had created 29,000 jobs at $60,000 each, that would be $1.7 billion of income in people's pockets. That's real stuff. That's where the rubber meets the road. All the pretty stuff is nice, but unless we're putting money in people's pockets and letting them be able to raise their families and buy a home and create generational wealth, we aren't doing what we're supposed to do. And so that's number one for me. You know, I shared this story because it was life changing. But my parents bought their first house after we had lived in rental houses all over the place when I was 15 years old. And I felt like we had finally arrived in life. It was like the Jeffersons or something, moving on up. And the pride that I had, my brother had, my sister had, and my parents still live in that house today, 49 years later. But that was the beginning of us coming together as a family and creating something that was lasting and that was impactful for us and provided us with stability and the ability to dream. And that's what I want for every young person in this city. So you hear me talking about affordable. Well, first, let me back up. You hear me talking about decent and affordable housing.
Absolutely.
Because we've got some places where there's housing like City View,
right,
and Legacy Crossing before it was closed down, and former Tommy Rose Garden and OHA with the bed bugs. So we've got affordable housing, but I believe people should live in decent affordable housing. So I've been very tough on OHA, and one of the first things I'm going to do is have a meeting with their board so they can give me an update on where they're at, what they're doing with this situation.
Absolutely.
Then we're going to get some timelines in place where they're going to either get stuff done, or like I said in the KETV debate, I'll fire the whole board.
Absolutely. And that was the first thing when me and you met, and I came to your kickoff campaign. That was the first question I asked, because it's been such a headache trying to get some help with getting that done. But then when I look at who's contributing to the mayor's campaign, a lot of the people from the board, and it just kind of, you know, let me know that that's why a lot of them are not being responsive to the issues there. And
let me throw this in real quick, because I don't want anybody to think I'm just talking. I actually contacted the executive director of OHA, and she agreed that we could meet. So she asked me if I wanted to meet at one of the towers or if I wanted to meet at her office. I said, I want to meet in one of the towers. That was 2 months ago. I haven't heard back from her.
Wow. Yeah.
So it wasn't that I'm just sitting waiting. I actually asked for the meeting.
Right. And like Precious said, yeah, we got to hold them all accountable. And Jaden can contest to this. Like, we can go to city council. I've seen him there plenty of times. And you can go to city council to do everything, but when everybody's in favor of the mayor, there's no accountability, because nobody wants to rattle the cage. And like you said, you're willing to fire the whole board. Like, we need that kind of stuff, and for them to know that that's possible, so that way they're not just sitting here thinking they can do and say whatever, even though we're showing them videos. It didn't start off going to the media about OHA. I actually went with Miss Weston, a few other people, and we wanted to form a committee to help them, since we were getting all the feedback, to help them filter the feedback and see what we can do to work together. And it was shot down. But what a lot of people don't know is, for, like, I would say about 14, 15 years ago, we've been going to the Spencer projects with the Easter Bunny to give candy to those kids. We've been pulling up to towers and feeding the towers, the whole tower, me and my family and the people that we work with. So this is not an OHA thing that we're picking up just from the news. And the reason why we've done that is because that's where we came from. My mother lived in Evans Tower for years, you know, and I had to watch her go through all this stuff. So this is not just a fad or something that we were doing. It's because we love and care for those people there. Most of them is our elders. And like you said, just because it's low income don't mean it should be uninhabitable. It shouldn't be,
absolutely.
you know, going through trauma of getting bit up every day and every night. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, and all of us from Omaha, we know it's been that way, right? And so, like Gwen is saying, decade of housing problems, so it's time for a change. Alicia Strange, she said, "Let's go, John. Time for a change." Yeah. So a lot of people on here rooting for you, just like
Well, thank you.
Economic issue is the issue in North Omaha. John, you got my vote, all our votes. We going to win. There's no doubt in my mind. That's why I said we don't have the doubt that we're going to lose. We know we're going to win. We just want to really get everybody out here to understand that every single vote matter. So we need you out
And
here.
one of the
And brother
one
Jay,
of the things I want people to understand is the bigger the margin
right.
tomorrow, the more of a mandate I have. When I went into the Douglas County Treasurer's office, I won 60-40 against a 12-year incumbent, just like Gene Stothard. And when I won 60-40, I had a mandate to be able to do whatever I wanted. So basically, the county board has voted 7-0 or 6-1 for everything I've ever tried to do as treasurer. That's what I want with the city council, and that's what I want with the business community as well, is that they understand where the power is, because North and South Omaha control every election in this city if they turn out to vote.
Absolutely. So what reason should everybody go in there and mark your name over Gene's tomorrow?
Sure. I'm going to be very honest and a little negative about Gene Stothard, because I think it's important that people understand that Gene is not a moderate. She has tried to fool you all into thinking she's a moderate Republican when she is a Trumpster. So that's number one. Number two, she did not support the Blue Dot effort. And that is something that this community takes great pride in. I was the first co-chair of the Blue Dot effort when we got Barack Obama the Blue Dot in 2008. So I've been at that a long time. The other things are this: you need somebody in that office you can trust to do what they said they're going to do. Gene Stothard told you she was going to eliminate the restaurant tax. She's lied about that throughout this whole campaign. If you go look at KETV and their videos in April of 2013 and April of 2013, you'll see that she promised to eliminate it. When you look at the streetcar, she's lied about that through this whole campaign. If you go look at the KETV and KMTV videos from April of 2017, she specifically said it would go to a vote and challenged Heath Mello to agree to that. If you look at the police department, she keeps lying to you, telling you that she's budgeted over 100 extra officers, but they're at 130 below the number they're supposed to be at. So basically, she's giving you budget surpluses by not hiring police officers and not eliminating the restaurant tax. And let me be clear, when I talk about hiring more police officers, I'm not talking about them doing policing to you and being an occupying army. I'm talking about them doing policing with you and listening to you, like I started when I was in the crime prevention unit with all of the things we did there, and as a deputy chief when we started some of the things with the 360 program and violence prevention. By working with the community and doing community policing, we can make the Omaha Police Department better, more accountable, and make the lives of people in North and South Omaha better, because we can keep people safe by having relationship instead of just trying to arrest our way out of problems. And so that's why I want more police officers. But I ran for Douglas County Treasurer in 2006. I made you 3 promises and I kept them. Despite what Gene Stothard says, we balance to the penny every day. So I've restored fiscal integrity to that organization. and I make you $90 million a year over what it costs to run our office. I also said I would restore public trust. One of the things I've never done in my 43 years of public service is lied to the people of this community. I'm from here. My parents are here. A lot of my relatives are here. I'm accountable to the people of this community. And I'm
Absolutely.
not going to embarrass my parents and my family. The third thing is I said I would utilize technology to serve you better. And we've done that as well. You can do almost anything except register a vehicle for the first time in Nebraska online or over the telephone. That's the kind of efficiency that I want to bring to city government as well, where I make it more friendly for people to be able to use it, as well as more efficient and effective. So that's why people should vote for me.
Absolutely. And then we talking about stability. How long you and your wife been married, brother?
This will be 41 years in September,
Ooh-wee.
and she still likes
Stability.
me.
And she still like him. Yeah, I see the way she
Yeah.
be looking at you, bro. But that kind of stability, the reason why I brought that up is the family, right? The core of the family. And that type of stability, having that long of a marriage, I mean, that just says a lot. I mean, we ain't gonna talk about somebody else's marriage, but for you, I mean, that says a lot. That's stability, brother. And I love that. I love that. I've been with my wife 23 years and 27 together, 23 married. And stability is important when you're talking about
Oh, it
picking
is.
somebody to help run a city, and then knowing that you got somebody to go home to when you took on the pressures of the city, somebody to comfort you. You can just lay there, she can hug you and take all that from you, you know, because I'm telling you, ain't
Yeah,
nothing like a real woman. In 40 years, she got to be something, because that's a long time.
absolutely.
And I
You know,
appreciate her for being there for you,
yeah.
you know. So yeah.
You know, one of the cool things we used to do, they had a program called Marriage is Cool. And we used to go into the high schools and talk to young people about that. And so that's one of the things we want to emulate for young people as well, is the value of a solid relationship where you can have that support, you can support each other, but then life is just better,
Right.
period, when you have that.
Yeah, I do want to take a couple of questions real quick. One from Stephen Abraham. He said, "Good evening, John Ewing Jr. My
Good
question:
evening.
the homeless population is social detriments of health being in talks more in the community. How could you help with supporting getting services to those individuals in the area really affected by those issues?"
So one of the things I've done, I've served on a lot of boards in this community, probably somewhere around 70. And one of them is the Sienna Francis House. I also had a daughter who worked at or Open Door Mission. So I'm very familiar with the homeless and unsheltered population. And I believe there's several things that we have to do. The first thing we have to do is recognize that there's a lot of issues that people may have, and we can't just assume that a one size fits all. There are
Right.
some people with mental health issues. There are some people with drug addiction issues. There are some people who might have just lost a job, just had some unfortunate circumstances. We have to look at those people differently. So if they have mental health issues, we have to help them get the help they need, then sustained support, so they don't relapse and go right back to where they were. And the same thing with drug addiction. We've got to help people get the therapy and everything they need, and then make sure they have that aftercare so they don't go back. We also have to do everything we can to help people who may just be down on their luck with temporary shelter or something like that, to help them be able to rebuild. But
Mhm.
then there's other issues that I see that just make no sense to me. And so I'm going to have some conversations with the shelters on being more flexible with who they take in. A lot of times, if a couple is a man and a woman, for instance, they generally can't go into the same shelter.
Right.
If they have a family like the family we saw on 90th and Dodge,
Can't go into
they
certain
can't
shelters.
go into the same shelter. If we have people who have
Yeah, because
pets,
one thing I
they
knew that
can't
they
take,
have, they have like sex offenders in some of those, so kids can't
yeah,
go.
they can't
Yeah,
take their pets with them.
right.
So we've got to get these shelters to understand you can't be so bureaucratic. Sometimes you got to meet people where they're at and create some flexibility in their programs. The other thing I want to do is figure out between city, federal, state, and even philanthropic resources, how do we build capacity so that they can have more people in their shelters, but they also can do more day programming and things like that, so people aren't in the place during the night and then kicked out during the day. And
Absolutely.
then they're left to their own devices instead of investing in them and trying to help them be able to get on solid footing, to be able to move from homeless to owning a home. One of the things we did when I was at Sienna Francis House that I loved was we started well, first of all, we increased capacity.
Oh, I think he blacked out. Miss Brenda, I do want to give you a chance to just say a few words before you get out of here. I know it's getting late.
Yes.
And I want to just once again reiterate the importance of everybody getting out and voting. Once we can get him back on here, I'll bring him back up here. Let me see.
Okay. Yeah, but that and Sherman, I really accepted the invitation for that purpose to impress upon your listeners the importance of voting, and not just themselves. They need to take a few folks along with them when they go vote. Just go down your neighborhood, go through your block, and make sure that everybody on your block is voting. We do great job at voter registration. I mean, if you look and see how many people are registered to vote, we need them to get out and vote. And if you look early in the chat, Precious reported that there are 3,500 mail ballots outstanding. Right, that's people who requested a mail ballot and who haven't turned them back in. Those 3,500 votes can make a difference.
Clearly.
So if you've got, if you have a mail ballot, you need to drop it in those drop boxes and get that done. You're hearing from a person who has demonstrated over the years, 43 years of public service, demonstrated his care, concern, and commitment to the city of Omaha and the community he was raised in particular, North Omaha. And you have an opportunity here to change the trajectory of progress in North Omaha with a mayor who is sensitive and aware and knowledgeable of the needs of the district. And when you listen to John, you're listening to someone who actively seeks input from individuals in the community and then tries to act upon it. And develop ways to address it. So,
she went out too. Everyone's
Yeah, he said he got moved backstage, but I don't see him. Let me see.
Oh, there he is.
No, because he's still black. Both of them black right now, like black squares.
Maybe this is a coordinated attack by the Stothert campaign. Last minute coordination.
Like we're not hearing from the elders, they just left us to. So I mean, and the reason why I still got this thing up here, and Jaden knows, like, man, this right here is really bad. 735 votes. Like
that's hard. I mean, like, not even just Brenda Council's example. I can even just point to the last election. We remember Cammie Watkins running against Danny Begley, who is a known homophobe, very conservative union Democrat. And he was running on a pro-police message. They sent out a racist mailer against her 2 weeks before the election that the candidate endorsed. And I believe that cost her the election by 350 votes. I mean, so
Wow.
you see Brenda Council 734 votes. You see even in City Council District 2, last time and this time, we ended up with low turnout and we didn't get the candidates that we really wanted because of that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty bad. He said we are the digital attack. You might be right.
Yeah, I'll blame Elon Musk and the Department of Government Efficiency. You know,
right? Yeah, like how is it that both of them dropped out in the middle of why they talking? I had to tell both of them to try to go all the way out and come back. And Ray Bay, let me see. Oh yeah, because she talking about 90th and Dodge, right? So yeah, we still got look, he said he got the eyes because he said we under digital attack. Yeah, man. It's awfully strange. I've never had none of my guests go all the way completely black like that and then just cut out. So this is new for me. And it's not the signal or nothing. I'm looking at our signal bar, it's still showing it's pretty high. So yeah, that's awfully strange. So yeah, hopefully we can get them back on here. But like you said, it is important for us to get out and vote, and then them small margins is just crazy. And Miss Weston said, and then he vaguely claimed he was not aware or involved of the flyer with Cammie.
he was well aware. I was there. Trust me, I was there. He was well aware.
Yeah. Yeah. And how long have you been doing this, Jaden? And how old are you?
I started my first political campaign in 2018, and I'm now 20. I'll be 25 in a couple of weeks.
Wow. Yeah. That's good. That's real good. I think it's important for people to see people like you doing it. Let me see. Is there an effort to go to every door where there's an outstanding ballot and give it to the nearest and give it a ride to the nearest library ballot box? I don't know. How will we know who have the ballots or not? I'll guess if somebody called or had some kind. Well, we do have people for polls, like to the election, to the polling place. So I don't know, how would that work, Jaden? Do they have to be the one?
Yeah, I think for ballots, so they have to be turned in by 8 p.m. So there's door efforts. Precious is saying they're going to all the doors, and there's also in these final days like ballot chasing by the campaigns and the parties and stuff like that. So to make sure that people are turning in their ballots.
Okay. Yep. And people are saying, okay, so John got the list, and Precious says she got the list. Yep. He talking about the results for District 2. Yeah, it was embarrassing. Mr. Jeffrey said this is a vital election. Don't fool yourself. There are more eyes on that election than many realize. We have to vote in the masses. Yes, that's what we have to do. And so thank you for that question, Mr. Welps. Yeah, Precious says she's on it. She's going to all the doors. So we don't have to worry about it. I just really want to push everybody, and that's why we had this show later in the evening. I know everybody's at home, relaxing, eating dinner, chilling, watching TV, putting your kids to bed. We wanted you to fall to bed with Vote John Ewing on your mind, okay? I did get a text from him. Let me see what they saying. It kicked them out. Okay. So, yep, it said they got kicked. So they couldn't come back, which is super crazy.
Maybe you need to resend them the link. Do they have to, maybe tell them to re-click the link or?
Yeah, let me see. Re-click the link.
Because earlier when I went out, that's what I had to do. Just sign back in. But hopefully they can get back in. If they can't get back in, this is Elon Musk and the Stothert campaign for sure.
Right. Ain't no way. I ain't never had people get kicked and not being able to come back. Yeah. Let me see what he just say. He said I did re-click it. Let me see. Let me copy it. Let's send him a fresh one. Make sure they got the same fresh one right here. Yeah, that's extra weird. Okay. There we go.
Everyone get their VPNs on just in case.
Right. Let's see. Okay. All right. Let me just double check. All right. Sent it to him. Okay. So he said he's going to try it again real quick. Okay. Yep. What is he? Okay. Precious said, if anyone want to door knock tomorrow in District 2, there's a number for you to call, 402-378-2034. Miss Weston dropping some information. There are free bus rides. Also call Black Votes Matter at 402-812-3324 for transportation to the polls. Yeah. Yeah. Mr. Levering says she's scared. She thinks because
She's
she's not
big time scared. That mailer and that stupid TV ad, like, ain't no way you're bringing that issue into the mayor's race unless you're really running scared and your internal polls are looking bad, which I'm sure they are.
Yeah, they definitely looking bad. Let's see what he's saying here. Okay, so he said he's clicking it now. I think it's bringing him back in. So yeah, we'll get some final words from him. Wrap it up, and like we said, we wanted to make sure y'all went to bed with Vote John Ewing on your mind. And like I said, there's candidates that I don't agree with everything that every candidate do, but after sitting and talking to him, and from the beginning, I think early last year, I first started talking to him about the election. We started talking on LinkedIn, and so that's where I started talking to him, and then we met up at AOS. He came and talked to me and Pastor Ballard, and just open communication from there on, and respecting the fact that I know he's a busy guy, but he still made time to take every call, every question, every concern. And so I usually don't get too deep when like I said, with politicians. But to me, he was more than just a politician. He was somebody who cared about his community and wanted to make a difference. So yeah, her internal polls has her down. Yeah, I've been hearing that from the Republicans. She's down, and so that's why we are seeing all of these attack ads. Yeah, so it's been pretty bad. And so I don't know, like, if the people are being fooled by this strategy. She's a real life gangster. I seen she just gave South Omaha today. They announced that they got a neighborhood grant from the mayor's office. Yeah, she's just pulling all kind of rabbits out of her hat. I'll be on Will King's show tomorrow to talk with him early in the morning when the polls open. I think I'm on his show at 7:30 tomorrow morning, and we'll just be going over the election stuff and making sure people is going out to vote. But yeah, I think it's just very, very, very important that we understand what we up against, the type of person we up against, and the behavior and the way she's treated us. I know people was like, oh, we ain't had a business district since 69, so it ain't her fault, but she's had 13 years to address this issue.
She's the longest serving mayor. There's no excuse. All this money that has come in from the federal government and 24th Street, nothing. I mean, all these economic development projects in Midtown, South Omaha, West Omaha, and North Omaha gets nothing, no economic development until Senator McKinney decides to steer it in the way that he did. That's ridiculous. So no intentional economic development from the Stothert administration at all. And we see this with OHA and City View, like no intentional type of anything to address any issue. And anytime you notice she is pressed on anything, she blames somebody else. She's petty, vindictive, and a straight up clown. And I think people are tired of her.
And we tired of it. And so I had somebody say that to me, oh, she's, the last mayor didn't do it. Why y'all holding her to? But like he said, she's been the longest serving mayor. And she announced the other day that they're building a parking garage for Blackstone. So you're adding on to their district instead of putting money into ours. And it's very, very intentional. Why? Because we spend the most money. So if we want to spend money, we can't spend it in our own community with our own people. We have to go outside of the district and spend money elsewhere, and then still get the side eyes and stuff we get when we pull it up into their area, when we could just have our own. Like they comfortable in their own. Their family and friends own the businesses. We could do the same thing right here in North Omaha. We got to stop letting people tell us what we can and can't do. So what did he say? She's not even ever gonna get in a debate with Jaden. No, she'll never do that. Stothert hasn't cared about transgender issues for 12 years now. She's beating that drum like Trump. Yeah, she gotta go. We need a revamped 24th Street. I drive by the park yesterday across from the Tyree Theater. It was packed. North Omaha wants to come together. Yes, she is a straight up clown. Can you get John on the phone and hold it up to the mic? Yep, let me do that for his last words. And we can, she said, and we can take back the Bryan Center. That's the truth. Hold on one second. Let me just call him real quick. I got an extra mic over here that I use when I take calls from the prisons. So yeah, I can do that. Here we go. Yeah, because it don't look like he's getting back in here. There we go.
And wouldn't it be nice to have a mayor that we can be proud of looking at walking down the street in the parade, in the Juneteenth parade, in the Omaha Days parade this year? Like, wouldn't that be a nice, fresh breath of air for everyone? I mean, come on now.
Right. I'm going to put the mic up, the phone up to the mic so you can give them your final words. I don't know why it's not letting you back in. So give me 1 second.
I could hear everything you guys were saying, but I could not get back in.
Yeah, and it was just a black screen. So here you go. You on the mic now.
Okay. Well, I believe that this is very possible. This is the most important election in most of our lifetimes. And we have a chance to change Omaha, I believe, forever. Because once we get this thing rolling, once we get economic development in our community and we rebuild from what they've left in our community since the 1960s, we have an opportunity to keep it going and have the dollar turning over in our community. That's how we build wealth. That's how we support each other when that dollar's turning over in our community instead of coming into our community in the form of a paycheck and then going out to West Omaha and other places the very next day. So this gives us the opportunity to be able to build, and then we have to be intentional. We have to own it. We have to make sure we're doing business with each other. We have to make sure when we get ready to buy a house, we do it with a black real estate agent. If we're buying a car, if there's a black salesman or dealership, we need to be doing those type of things and be intentional about spending our money with black people as much as we can. And we can build this thing. Yes, I would like to have your vote tomorrow because I believe that Omaha deserves for this whole community a mayor that will listen to them, a mayor that will be respectful of everyone, and a mayor who will always tell you the truth and who will work with you to get things done. One of the things I want people to notice is I don't sit up and tell you I've got all the answers and this is how we're going to do it. I tell you we're going to bring people together and we're going to get it done because I believe that's the best way to lead and I believe that's the most effective way to get things done. So let's finish it off. I think we're in a great position. We just need to get out and vote for those people who haven't already turned in their ballots. We need them to get those turned in tomorrow. And I'll be the next mayor of Omaha.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So y'all heard it from the man himself. Thank you again, Brother John, for joining us. We appreciate you. And wake up on the mind. Wake up with John Ewing on your mind to vote, brother. And we're going to be tuned in all day tomorrow, getting people to the polls. So again, thank you for taking time out your long, busy day to join us late tonight. Appreciate you.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
All right.
Thank you, ladies.
Yep. Bye.
Bye.
All right. Well, y'all heard it from himself. Yeah, this is crucial. It's gonna be a crazy day tomorrow. And we got it. They saying great discussion, true. There it is. Yes, sir. Omaha will make history tomorrow. I'm confident and proud of John's potential as mayor. Yep. The fact that she didn't even show up at the forum the other night say it all. Yep. And I appreciate all y'all tuning in, all the comments, run that thing up. You'll be the mayor for all people. Yeah. And so we just got to keep it rolling. Go, John, go. My anxiety. Yeah. So yeah, I appreciate y'all joining us tonight. We're gonna go ahead and get out of here. And like I said, Brother Jaden, anytime you want to join me, brother, you welcome to be in here. And actually, I would like to have you have your own segment where it's just you talking and bringing people information. Whatever you want to do to build your platform, you are more than welcome to use it. I put myself on the back, like I could do, and just put you on the solo layout just like that. And you can do your thing, and anything you want me to pull up, I can pull up, and anything you want me to do behind the scene, I can do that just like that for you. Okay.
Absolutely. And I am happy to collaborate with you on that for sure.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, y'all. Peace and hair grease in the Middle East, and y'all have a great night.